camera so those at home can hear and see you. The virtual host and co-host and I will attempt to maintain the cue correctly. Your kindness and patience will be greatly appreciated. Please limit your share to 3 to 4 minutes. I have asked volunteers for our readings. And first one should be how it works.
In Kim.
Kim.
If you want what we have to offer and are willing to make the effort to get it, then you're ready to take certain steps. These are the principles that made our recovery possible. 1, we admitted that we were powerless over our addiction, that our lives had become unmanageable. 2, we came to believe that a power greater than ourselves could restore us sanity. 3, we made a decision to turn our will and our lives over to the care of God if we understood Him. 4, we made a searching and fearless moral inventory of ourselves. 5, we admitted to God, to ourselves, and to another human being the exact nature of our wrongs. 6, we were entirely ready to have God remove all these defects of character. 7, we humbly asked Him to remove our shortcomings. 8, we made a list of all persons we had harmed and became willing to make amends to them all. 9, we made direct amends to such people wherever possible, except when to do so would injure them or others. 10, we continued to take personal inventory and, when we were wrong, promptly admit it. 11, we sought through prayer and meditation to improve our conscious contact with God as we understood Him, praying only for knowledge of His will for us and the power to carry that out. 12, having had a spiritual awakening as a result of these steps, we tried to carry this message to addicts and to practice these principles in all our affairs. This sounds like a big order, and we can't do it all at once. We didn't become addicted in one day, so remember, there is one thing more than anything else that will defeat us in our recovery. This is an attitude of indifference or intolerance towards spiritual principles. 3 of these that are indispensable are honesty, open-mindedness, and willingness. With these, we are well on our way. We feel that our approach to the disease of addiction is completely realistic, for the therapeutic value of one addict helping another is without parallel. We feel that our way is practical, for one addict can best understand and help another addict. We believe that the sooner we face our problems within our society and everyday living, just that much faster do we become acceptable, responsible, and productive members of that society. The only way to keep from returning to active addiction is not to take that first drug. If you are like us, you know that 1 is too many and 1,000 never enough. We put great emphasis on this, for we know that when we use drugs in any form or substitute one for another, we release our addiction all over again. Thinking of alcohol as different from other drugs has caused a great many addicts to relapse. Before we came to NA, many of us viewed alcohol separately, but we cannot afford to be confused about this. Alcohol is a drug. We are people with the disease of addiction who must abstain from all drugs in order to recover.
And the 12 traditions.
Hey, my name's John. I'm an addict.
Hi,
John.
12 traditions of NA. We keep what we have only with vigilance. This is freedom for the individual comes from 12 steps, so freedom for the group springs from our traditions. As long as the ties that bind us together are stronger than those that tear us apart, all will be well. 1, our common welfare should come first. Personal recovery depends on NA individual. 2, for a group purpose, there's one ultimate authority. The loving God is to express Himself in a group conscience. Leaders are supposed to serve. They must have requirements and never stop using. 4, to remain autonomous, except the matters affecting other groups or NA as a whole. 5, each group has one primary purpose, and carry the message to that who still suffers. 6, an NA group ought never endorse, finance, or lend an NA name to any related facility or outside enterprise, less promise of money, or your prestige regardless from our primary purpose. 7, every NA group ought to be fully self-supporting, declining outside contributions. 8, narcotics anonymous should remain forever non-professional, for service centers may employ special workers. 9, NA as such ought never be organized. We may create service boards or committees directly responsible for the service. 10, narcotics anonymous have no opinion on outside issues. Hence, the NA name might never be drawn into public controversy. 11, public relations policy based on traction or information. We need to always maintain personal anonymity at the level of press, radio, and films. 12, anonymity is the spiritual foundation of all our traditions, ever reminding us to place principles before personalities.
Thanks, John. All right, our scheduled speakers for this workshop are Lonnie W. and Diane G. And so I would like to thank the committee for putting this on as well, Grid 40, and I'd like to thank y'all for being here and participating. Y'all want to start? I don't know, y'all.
It's
can-
me.
remember I said it?
With Lonnie already made me go first.
Okay.
Hi, family. Hi, family. My name is Tyann. I'm an addict. First and foremost, I'd like to thank the God of my understanding for allowing me to be here today. And it's truly a great day to be clean. I'd like to thank Gretna for allowing me to, participate in our recovery. I was cool as a cucumber. I'm just coming from work, y'all. These are not my sharing clothes. These are clothes. I had to go to work, so I had to look presentable. So these are not my sharing clothes. But man, when Amanda asked me if I would come up and share, I was in a meeting and I was the discussion leader and I was sharing my experience, strength, and hope. And I guess she found it necessary to think that I have a message on the mask must go today. And I was sitting here and I was telling Lonnie was like, "You done this before?" And I was like, "Yeah, a few times." And then you guys started coming in. And I was like, "Oh my God." I was like, I am a nervous bitch sitting up here right now. So my God. And then we was talking about we should go lock the door. But anyway, I just thank God that we are here on a Friday afternoon and we are not somewhere trying to get one more. And so the masks have to go. Wow. That's a big one, right? I'm gonna tell you guys, like my life is getting ready to turn upside down and go somewhere else and all of that. And I'm in this decision making, contemplating stage on my marriage after 14 years, right? And I'll get there. I'm gonna get there. But I got to get to like these masks and stuff, or I used to like calling them clown suits and all of that. I have 26 and a half years clean. And like for a long time, I was a chameleon. Like when I first came in here, I had the mask of the grandiose, I'm the great recovering addict, I'm a 30-day wonder. I used to recite what people used to say because I didn't want you all to see the little scared little girl that was behind, now I know the mask, that facade that I used to put up because I wore a lot of masks. I wore a lot of masks when I was using, I'm from Newport, Rhode Island. And I had some children and I was a crackhead. And so the mask that I used to try to, the facade that I used was if my cabinets were full, like the front of them, not behind the cabinets, but just the front. When the social worker from the state would come in and they would see a full cabinet from the front, they wouldn't have any inclination that I was smoking crack. Because what seemed to be was I was doing well with my children. So they wouldn't take my kids. They couldn't take my kids because they were my source of using. They were my food stamps and my welfare check. It wasn't their check, it was mine. Because that's what I used to get high with, I gave away my little cootie cat. I gave that away free. So I wasn't selling nothing. So that's what I did. And I wore those masks. I wore that mask for a long time because I didn't want anybody to know exactly what I was doing or just how bad I was. Right. And then I used to dress it up. But oh my God, people knew, but that mask of I'm doing all right, I'm feeling all right. Cause I really didn't want, you guys to call me no junkie. I didn't want people to call me no junkie, no crackhead, alcoholic and all of that. So I had to make it look like something until I came into recovery. When I came into recovery, the second time, because I tried this thing in 1992, it didn't work. I went to the other fellowship. The other fellowship was just these old fossils, I thought, and I couldn't identify with none of the men that were in AA, I thought, at that time, right? Because I'm 22, 23 years old. They don't seem to be 100. They had 100 years of sobriety, right? So I couldn't identify with nobody. So I went back out and I stayed back out for another 3 years. And what brought me back wasn't my drug using. I don't think, hey, it could have been, right? Could have been the drugs. But what brought me back was I had gotten a diagnosis. I found out that I was HIV positive and I was pregnant. And so I had to do something, right? I had to do something to like, not save me, but save this unborn child that I had. And so I came into treatment in 95, October 6, 1995. That's when I didn't fully surrender, but I knew that I had to do something different because I had gotten this diagnosis. And I'm like, oh my God. So my goodness, masks were all over the place. Like I threw on a mask of, it's gonna be all right. I threw this thing on like, I didn't want you all to see the shaking, the insecure, feeling like a derelict, like degradation. I felt dirty. I felt like a walking disease. Like you guys couldn't see none of that. You all had to see like this courageous young lady saying that I'm going to take the world by the horns and I'm going to recover and I'm going to do all of this, right? Man, that was so much bullshit. So when I came into treatment, like I was broken down to the last little molecule. But then I would throw the mask back up. I would put it back on, man. Put on my cape. I had some children. I didn't want you all to look at me like this dirty, hoish lady, because I had a whole lot of kids. I didn't keep them. I didn't keep a lot. I would have had 10, but I got 4. And I got them by 4 different men. So like I felt like I was a mess. So I couldn't show that. I couldn't show you all that, man. I had to show that like I had it all together. I knew what the hell I was doing. I was a little bit educated, just a little bit, not a whole lot. And I had to go with my chest out. I don't know if I can stand because I can't sit down because the energy is flowing different. So is it okay if I stand up? All right, because I need to stand up. I can't sit down. I'm so animated and shit. I gotta move around and stuff, right? I can't be relaxed because if y'all think that it's going to be a quiet share, it's not going to be quiet because that's not how I share, because that's not how God works through me. Like he works through me and he gets it up and he gets it out. And so like the mask that I had to wear was like, shit, I'm a warrior. I'm tough. I'm this, I'm that. You're not going to fuck with me. You ain't going to do this. If I say fucking shit a little bit, that doesn't mean that my vocabulary is limited. That's just how it's coming out. And so like, man, it's like, how we in the street, right? And we can't let nobody know that we punks. Like we had to learn how to fight because some of us really couldn't fight, but didn't nobody know that because we fought, right? But we had to, like we couldn't run back in the damn house. I know where I was raised in Boston, and I learned how to fight in the park. And they told me that if I run back in the house, I was going to get my ass whipped by, the folks in the house. So I had to go out there and I had to fight. But I didn't really want to fight because I didn't know how to fight. Damn. And so I wore this tough guy, this mask that couldn't nothing bother me. Right? Nothing. So moving on along, I had some children. I had 4 kids and, just in and out of relationships, coming into recovery, just didn't know whether or not I wanted to be here, but I just knew that I had to save this young man that I had. He was born with my antibodies. He's 26 years old now and he's HIV negative. He was HIV negative at 18 months old. But it was something that brought my behind in here. Like, again, just shedding some of that stuff, it was a wake-up call. I'm currently living with this thing for the last 30 years, non-detectable, right? And so I'm like, damn, what do I do now? Right? How do I share this? Who's gonna love me? Who's gonna accept me? Because, back then people was dying. Society wasn't accepting nobody. Don't come in my house, don't sit down, don't eat off no plate, don't do shit. So now I'm like, man, I can't let nobody know about this. So yeah, that's what brought me up in here. It's not what sustains me though. keeps me here is because I want to be here. It's because now I have a God in my understanding. That's another thing. Like I played with God. I played with the steps when I first came around here. I didn't get a sponsor until I was 6 years clean. Don't recommend that to anybody. Oh my God. Right. I got into a whole lot of ships at conventions and stuff. Because if you shared real good, I was like, damn, I probably could get some, and then recovery, would come in on me because I thought it was sexually transmitted, right? Talk about predatory behaviors, right? Shit. So yeah, I played like I had it all together. And I remember getting into like relationships and all of that, and thinking that my stuff was together and finding the people who was less than me. So that way you can look up to me and all of that. Like, I don't know if anybody knows anything about being a paymaster and all of that stuff, but that's who I became because it gave me a sense of superiority. So because I felt like shit and I couldn't let you all know, I couldn't let you know that. So then when I got this sponsor at 6 years clean, we started doing some step work. And when we did step one, the stuff started shedding. The mask started going just a little bit because I still wasn't telling nobody really what was going on. I couldn't tell y'all that like I had these kids and I didn't want to be a mom anymore. I couldn't tell y'all that like I got into a marriage with a dude that later on was trying to fondle and ship my oldest daughter. I couldn't tell y'all that like, repeatedly, my mom's boyfriend used to try to come at 10 years old. Like I couldn't tell y'all that. So I had to put on this thing like I was the mighty Tyann, couldn't mess with me. And I was mean. I was a mean person. I was so closed. I didn't want nobody saying nothing to me. If you said something to me, then I'm a, say something back and make you just not like me. But what I really wanted was some love. Really wanted to be loved. I did. I wanted somebody to embrace me at that time and tell me that it was okay. Until I learned, so I'm going through these steps and I'm going through step 2. And, the first time around, I went to step 2 with a minimum amount of concern, man, because I didn't think like restore me to what? When am I being restored to? And I just had an attitude just like that. So what? I'm being restored to. Damn. I later on found that, up in here. And what I told myself, and how I looked at myself, like I couldn't stand the sight of me. I thought I was the ugliest person. I thought I was skinny. Like I was skinny though. When I first came around here, my back pockets was hitting and shit. I was skinny. I only gained a little bit of weight, but I was skinny. I was skinny walking around here thinking I was cute, man. But oh my God, like getting dirty clothes out the clothes hamper, flipping drawers on the cleaner side, spraying my clothes down with Right God. If you are over 50 years old, y'all know what Right God is, right? Over 50, you know what Right God is. So spraying my clothes down with Right God, but I had to put it together as if you guys didn't see me. And so now I have these children and now I'm getting clean and stuff, but I wasn't emotionally available for them. And when I started being emotionally available for them, I started parenting out of guilt. But I had to put on that mask though, because I couldn't come up in here and let y'all know that like, these kids are getting on my nerves, or I'm a little bit older. I move out of Boston, I come to Georgia, I get into a relationship. This man is telling me, I love you, but I really don't want to be in a relationship with women and children anymore. But I'm forcing the hand, kind of. And so we get married and we're in this marriage and we're having some real issues now. But we recovering, man. We're doing this thing. Like there was my kids were going through a whole lot of stuff. And there's a whole lot of things that I had to do for their safety. Like I had a daughter who was being trafficked sexually. I couldn't come in here and tell y'all that, man. I had to have this thing like everything was all right. I'm telling y'all, I am standing before you all right now shedding this shit because I can't wear it no more. It's a trick how we have to wear masks to save our lives out here in society and shit. But when we come in here, we gotta fucking take the mask off to save our life.
Yeah.
But an oxymoron. So I'm in this marriage with, you know, my children, they baby kids and stuff. They doing a whole lot of things, man. And I couldn't get rid of them because they're my kids. They minors. I couldn't tell them to go. So now I'm trying to do stuff to try to appease them, to try to appease him, and so that I could get some fucking peace. I'm doing step work. I'm talking to people, I'm going to meetings, I'm doing all of that. And I'm still kind of parenting out of guilt because, you know, I just don't want y'all hurting. So I had to, so one of my daughters, I had to put in state's custody because she was just going, I mean, jumping out of windows, just, oh my God. I was like, well, damn. Finally, you know, my husband said, I am miserable. I am not happy. I'm tired of their behavior. I'm tired of this. I'm tired of that. I'm like, fuck, I'm tired of you telling me, tell them. I'm tired of this. I'm tired of that. We're going to have to do something different. So, you know, I'm in a marriage and trying to compromise and all of that stuff. I put this girl in state's custody. When they found her after 2 weeks, she ran away after 2 weeks. And when they found her and brought her home, we had to go to court. And the judge was like, well, she's going to go home with you. I was like, no, she's not. She's staying here. And she was like, I don't want to go home either. But it was because of what was going on in the house. And nobody knew what was going on in the house because I had to cover it up. Nobody knew what was going on in the house because I had to cover it up. And I had to cover it up because I thought that I was protecting us, you know, because he's in the fellowship too. So I thought I was protecting us. But I'm tired of protecting. The mask gotta go. Sometimes it's not always okay. You know, it gets tough sometimes. And when I'm hiding behind an image, it's killing me. So yeah, the mask has to go, and now I'm all exposed right now, and now I'm recovering right now. But guess what, man? God got me, and I know He does. Like going through the step process, man. Like this time, this is I'm on step 5 for the 5th time, and I'm telling you, and the last thing is like it's more spiritual in nature for me, man. And so something different happened when we went into the pandemic. Like I no longer could wear the mask of like if this shit ain't working, the shit ain't working. I don't care what it is, right? I got some young adults now. They go in and out of whatever the hell that they do. Y'all got some kids and stuff like that. Y'all know, man, shit. I'm tired. I'm tired. I am not this super recovering addict who got her shit all together, who says that I got it. I don't. I need help. Like in this season of my recovery, I need some soldiers to help me get to the other side. Y'all told me like the mask has to go. So now I'm taking off my mask. Now I'm all vulnerable and shit. My makeup, my little mascara's running. Ugly. I'm not, baby. I promise you I'm not. But like, when we talk about the mask, if I don't shed the mask and I don't take it off, you guys, I would die. I will eventually be up in a corner somewhere using. Now, it probably won't happen today and it probably won't happen tomorrow, but eventually it will happen. So I got to talk about what I need to talk about. And I have to go through the process. So the process is now making a decision. Am I willing to continue to say my marriage? And I love him, I do. But there's like some stuff that's like going on, man. He gets resentful with my kids. He told me that he's not accepting them anymore. And what I said to him was, if you can't accept them, then you can't accept me. How can you love me? Huh? And there's certain areas that I don't go to, that I don't share this, because he has a right to recover too. So it's not by accident that I get this topic a couple of weeks ago. God already knew that this day was coming, that I needed to share this, that I didn't need to come up here all dressed up, nice and fucking cute and all of that, right? Looking like that I got all the shit together and that I got all the answers together. He said, no, you're gonna share this shit. You're gonna take off that damn mask of everything is okay, everything is fine, because it's not, y'all. But what is great is I'm not gonna use over it.
That's right. That's right. That's right.
I'm not gonna put nothing on top of it. Maybe some food or something, because you know. Damn that. I ain't gonna be so goddamn downtrodden that I am not gonna eat. Because I like food. But man, you know, and recovery is then possible, because we do get to the other side of stuff, right? You know, y'all told me to come up in here and stop playing with it. Like I had I had something real good that I was going to share with y'all, and it was going to be nice and light and fluffy. God said, no, the hell you ain't. Come up here and share the truth of what's going on, because it's somebody who can identify with me. You know, so when I got clean and I got through all of that and stuff, and, you know, early on wearing those masks, I remember that I had a counselor, and she used to always put me in the mirror. And oh, I couldn't stand. That counselor got on my nerves. She was all up in my face, like right here. Her breath used to stink. I was like, all right, I'm gonna say it. Just so you can get out my face, right? I'm gonna say it. But what she used to tell me was I was enough, because I never thought that I was enough. And I used to always have to think that I could dress up the outside, you know, so that I wouldn't feel what I was feeling on the inside. But she was like, girl, strip that shit down enough. So now when I put on clothes and stuff, I really feel good. Like it's nothing that I'm covering up, because I can no longer cover it up. Whether I'm dressed up or dressed down, shit, the shit is bothering me and God is shaking me. Y'all are getting it. You know, so I wore this, and let me know when I need to be quiet.
Keep going.
I remember, you know, my dad, man, like the little girl just wants to grow up. My dad and I, we had a real tough time. And because he left when I was 10, he moved to California when I was 10, him and my mom got a divorce. I went through a lot of shit, and I was like, damn, if he had stayed, maybe I wouldn't have gotten into this. Maybe I wouldn't have, maybe, I don't know. But I know recently he wanted to make an amends and sit down and stuff. My dad just turned 80 years old, and I remember I couldn't stand him. I was like, fuck you, I ain't making no amends to you, all of that. But what I really wanted was just to sit in my dad's lap, have him hug me and tell me he was proud of me. And last year, he came to Pennsylvania, he and his wife, they came to Pennsylvania because that's where they're from. And he was like, Ty, will you come? I'm the oldest. Ty, will you come? I don't know. So I took y'all on a journey with me. Before I went, I shed that mask that I had of, I'm not forgiving him. He did this, he did that, blah, 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 blah. Only listening to the mom side of things. You know, sometimes we get scorned and stuff like that, and we don't never take responsibility for our shit, but it's always the dude that, you know, gets the short end of the deal, right? So I did go to Pennsylvania and I did see my dad and we did make amends. Right? My dad, he's ill and he's sick and he, you know, he can't really walk. So he had his little push thing. So he was sitting down and I can remember me kneeling down and just putting my head in his lap. Right? And I just told him all I ever wanted was for you to just tell me that you were proud of me. Cause I tell you, I was bad too though, but my father used to whip my ass. I was bad. He was an alcoholic too. And that's all I wanted. So I had to get vulnerable and I had to allow him to do what he needed to do. I had to allow him to make that amends, right? Our relationship is not where I would like for it to be, but I'm better. I'm just better. I'm not perfect, but I'm better. I'm better than where I was the year before last. I'm better. You know, I'm a little bit more open and really just trying to take some stuff in, man, right? I'm accepting love today. I'm not afraid of it today. I'm not afraid that you all will hurt me if I show you my wounds. If I open up and I show you guys me. I'm open right now. I'm so vulnerable right now. I want to run out this room, I really do. Because I took the mask off. Yeah, so you guys see this tie-tie, that's what they called me when I was young. This little girl is growing up, y'all. And the step process, man, like this step 11 for me is this conscious contact that I have with the God of my understanding. And I know that God is, ooh, man, he has gotten me through and I know that he's going to get me through this. I just have to have the courage to walk through. You know, I have a sponsor. I talked to my sponsor. My sponsor's going through something right now, man. And mom just got put in hospice. And I'd rather be there than to be here. But I knew that like service work helps me. This is helping me. Like I can't run from what I want to run from. Because I tell you, I was not prepared to share all of this. I wasn't prepared to do all of that. But pain shared is pain lessened. So yeah, so now I'm in this decision of a 14-year marriage. And it's in the winter stage, man. We're in the winter season. It's winter, you know. That's my second marriage. I put my best foot forth, man. I gave it my best shot. And when you know that you're at the end of the road, you know you're at the end of the road. And the tough thing is finalizing that and making a decision. Because the image is, damn, I gotta go pay rent somewhere. Oh, damn. Pay rent somewhere. Pay rent since 2008, if I'm gonna be real honest with y'all. Like, you know, I was taken care of. And what I did was I became dependent on him. And I said that I wasn't gonna do that. By happenstance, it happened. So now I'm like, whoa, I can't. So I'm looking at all this tangible shit that I can't do anymore, right? But it's nothing like a peace of mind, happiness, and freedom. I always share, like, I got the keys to let myself out of this self-made prison, right? Now I'm standing here getting real vulnerable with y'all, talking about it. And I know God has a way of changing things too. He does. You know, I could be sharing and crying about, well, we at the end of our road and By the end of the weekend, y'all might see us up here walking around hand in hand. Don't be looking at me side eye either. Be like, that bitch she's crazy. Don't be doing that. Don't be looking at me side eye. Need to put that out there. But I know, but you know, I mean, really, for real, when somebody tells you that they're not happy and they're this and they're that and that this and all of this and stuff, and you can no longer compromise your morals or your values on either side, you know, because it's okay if he doesn't accept my kids. It's okay if he's tired of their asses. It's okay. That's okay, because that's his truth. But my truth is, they're a part of me. And like, I'm not parenting out of guilt anymore, but shit, I remember when I was 23 and 26 and all of that. They have never been 54 and 58 and 59 and 60. They have never been beyond the age that they are now. I was 23 and 26 and 27 and all of that. And I remember I had a mother who didn't give up on me. And I had a grandmother who didn't give up on me. Now they was like, we're sick of your shit, but they didn't give up. I got a 31-year-old daughter who just turned 31, man. She's out there. She's still using. She can't seem to get this shit, man. She's in and out, in and out, in and out, in and out, in and out. So like, it's like, you know, if she calls me mom, I'm like, I'm glad to hear her voice. Now, you know, she tried to call me, I think 2 weeks ago, I was at the hairdresser. I'm just sitting down, getting ready to get my hair done. She was like, Mom, and I was like, what? You got $300? Wait a minute, let me tell you. You got $300? Because I got arrested the other night. Do you have $300 so I could get my boyfriend's car out of tow? Girl, bye. But guess what? It was hard for me to tell her no. Yeah. Because I wanted to. I was like, I was contemplating with it. I was like, well, I'll give you half. And then I thought about it. I was like, fuck that. I ain't giving her shit. I was like, no, I don't have it. No, I'm not doing that. And she was like, but you just don't understand. And I gotta walk the streets and all of that, right? The shit that we used to say, I was like, oh my God, it's coming back. You just don't understand. And I don't want to walk the streets. And I was like, well, he was stupid to give you the car. But yeah. So I know that I'm getting better in that area. Right? But it's hard. It's hard to know that your child is out there using. Now I understand what my mom and all the rest of the folks were feeling and all of that, but I don't lose sleep at night. I go to sleep. I do. I go to sleep. So my 23-year-old, she has a baby. She got evicted out of her house. She's married and living with her boyfriend. I'm taking care of my grandson. I have 7 grandchildren. And I'm taking care, and none of my kids have their kids. Like, it used to be embarrassing to say that none of my kids have their kids. Like when I came in, y'all got on my damn nerves, but I had y'all. But none of them have them. So now I'm taking care of my grandson because my other grandchildren being taken care of by other folks. And it's such a joy to watch this little boy grow. It's like I'm getting another chance at this. I didn't ask for it though. I can't wait till she finds her a place so she can go, because I'll be 54 next month and yeah. I may look young, but shit, that little boy running around, I'm like, whew. Wait a minute, Asa, come here. I can't run it like I used to, but yeah, man, and I'm doing it again, but it was embarrassing, and it was hard for me to come up in here, raise my hand and tell y'all, like, you know, my kids, man, they doing some dumb shit, and they don't have their kids. And then I got somebody who is supposed to or said that they love them. Every time they get a chance, they talking reckless to them. And I used to cover it up. And sometimes I didn't protect them. I didn't say anything to him because I didn't want to, I didn't want to make any waves. But for real, I didn't want to be put out because I felt like that I didn't have nowhere else to goddamn go. I didn't have the courage with my good sharing ass self. I didn't have the courage to stand up. But the other night, I had enough. And so I'm faced with a decision that I'm flip-flopping with. 14 years, this is the longest I've ever been in a relationship in a row. Shit, in a row. Wow, real big. But guess what? I've grown, right? I'm still in the step process. I mean, nothing is final yet. There might be something else that we have to do. Go see a counselor or something. That we both don't know, because we're both pretty strong-willed, and I know I can manipulate some shit in a minute. Because I have a vocabulary and I can speak so eloquently. I work in mental health, so I know how to do that. I do. So I just don't understand. But yeah, so I have to talk about this. I have to get it up off of me. I have to bring y'all on a journey. Maybe I'll see some of y'all again. Maybe I won't see some of you all again. But if I do see you guys again, I bet you there'll be a solution, whether we stay together or we don't stay together. I can guarantee you I'm not going to use over it though. Whatever decision that we make, I guarantee you that. Now, about this rent thing, I don't know about doing this, trying to do that. But seriously, on the serious tip, I work, I have a pretty good job and all of that stuff. And that's tangible stuff. That's tangible things. Like I serve a God out of this world, and I know that he's not bringing me to something that he's not going to see me through. I do know that. I believe that in my heart. Right? I just got to stop picking up the mask and putting it on and letting y'all think that everything is okay and everything is all nice and all that stuff. Because no, this shit, no, it's not. I'm batshit crazy. And this is what's going on. And I need to tell y'all this too before I go, because it's shaking it up out of me. Yeah, so the other night, we're in there and we're arguing and he's trying to get my phone out my hand and stuff. And my mother said, I don't know why Georgia gave you a license to carry. I pulled a gun out on him. Woo. So I know something's broken. Right? Yeah. And we talked about that. And he was like, I was like, well, shit, I didn't just do it. Why did I pull the motherfucker out on you? But the bottom line is that, I did that. I did that. Like, I did that. It's done for me to do that. Yeah, and so, yeah. It's hard. It's tough. Yeah, you guys. So, the masks have to go. Definitely. I apologize to him. And I do, because I feel like, man, I felt like that alter ego came back out again. That alter ego that I choked down for so long, for 26 years, man, because I was nothing nice. And she came up. Because I wore this mask that everything was all right and I could fix everything and I can manage and I can control everything and all of that. And finally I told him, I said, I'm fucking angry with you. I'm so angry. I'm so angry with it. I'm so angry. I'm fucking angry with him. I'm angry how he talks to my kids and the young ladies. The fuck you talking to them like that for? I'm angry with myself that I didn't stick up for them sooner. Angry. So it came out. Yeah. Well, the mask is all over the floor. I can't pick it up and put it back on my face. God is done with me, but I do know recovery is then possible, right? I do know that. Now I ain't gonna be all boohoo and all weekend and shit like that, you know. Recovery is then possible. It's just I got to continue with the process. I cannot stop this process. No matter what, I can't stop this process. I have to continue with this process. And whatever the end result is going to be, God is in charge of it all, not me. So no longer do I want to fix, manage, and control behaviors. I don't want to control situations or outcomes anymore. It's too much. I don't want to put on this facade that I got it all together. It's too much. It's too friggin' much, you know. But I will tell you this, I done got me some soldiers today. Thank y'all in the hybrid. Hey, y'all. Thank y'all for listening. Thank y'all for listening. Thank you guys for listening. I'm Tyann. I'm grateful for coming.
My name's Lonnie, I'm an addict. So I was sitting here listening to her share, and I think I know the only other time I've done one of these was at GRCNA probably 10 years ago, and my sponsor didn't make it, so it was the last second thing I had to do. So I'm extremely nervous. If I don't look at you, if you see me looking at the floor, it's nothing personal. Right. It's just where I'm at, and I get intimidated. So the topic, like she was sharing, I have a lot of masks I've had to take off, and I think one of the main ones that I had to take off right off the rip was that I'm an addict. I spent my whole life, like she said, being a chameleon, acting a certain way around certain people and to fit in. And I did that my whole life. So when I got here, I didn't know who the heck I was. I didn't know what I liked. You know, I knew I didn't like getting high no more. I knew that. And you know, I'm on my second marriage. You know, I have 2 other kids with my previous wife, and the whole time we were together, I was messed up. You know, I never, my first wife I knew since she was 5 years old. Mm-hmm. And, you know, we have 2 kids together, and there came a point in my recovery where I'm going to bounce around too. So okay. Timeline is not me. You know, I'm just what's coming to mind, what I should share. Mm-hmm. And, you know, so I have a daughter, and I have an older son and an older daughter. And there came a point where, you know, enough was enough. At 10 years, we got divorced. And, you know, at that time, I was still in it, in the trenches, that's what I say. And, you know, there came a point where my daughter started doing things because she's an addict. So this is one of my fucking highlights of recovery, y'all. I got clean, and I guess, I don't know what it was, 3 years or something like that I had clean. Might have been 2, I don't know. But her mother came to a point where her and the stepdad couldn't handle my daughter no more. They said, you got to come and get her. Mm. And at that point, I was living in a double wide trailer off of Glade Road in Ackworth, Georgia. And I had been there since I got clean. And so I didn't hesitate. I went and got her. I never hid my recovery from my kids. I never did that. And I had a discussion with her. And, you know, that day I took off a lot of masks with my daughter. And just told her pretty much my life, where it started, where it went, and where it ended up. I've been to prison, I've been to jails, institutions. I put it all out there for my daughter because I die for my kids. And when I did that, I took her the next day, registered her for school, and something clicked. You know, not right away, but it did click. And she did. She got straight A's. She was on the honor roll, dean's list. She got a scholarship. And before, she was failing everything. And you know, now she's a probation officer for Gwinnett County. You know, and I look at that and I love sharing that because if I wouldn't have been clean, there's no telling where my daughter would be right now.
That's right.
And I think that's one of the biggest masks I pulled off. One of them is with her. And, you know, there's been a span of my recovery where I didn't really talk to my kids much. And my wife now always gets on, you need to call them, you need to call them, you need to go see them, you need to go see them. And, you know, so me and little man, I drive him to school every morning. We FaceTime my daughter every morning now. And, you know, it's like she looks excited. She gets excited about that. And, you know, it's just another, I guess, another mask that I've pulled off that, you know, letting her know that she is still very important to me. Even though we're not living close together or together anymore, she's gotten married, got her own house, you know, it's been a blessing. You know, there's some other masks I had to pull off with my family. I have family members that use, and you know, I've tried to get them clean, and I know now, and I knew years ago that I can't make anybody get clean. And so I had to take that mask off, and I had to set boundaries for myself to protect myself, because my recovery I take serious. And when I'm lacking in my recovery, my higher power lets me know, sometimes subtle, sometimes very swiftly. And you know, well, you don't know, but anyway, I had to pull off another mask here recently with my new sponsor. And you know, I got 15 years and I'm on my 4th sponsor. And the last sponsor I had for over, I guess, right at 10 years.
Yeah.
And that was and I needed to change him for 3 or 4 years. Because what he had something I wanted when I got him. And then I outgrew my sponsor. I needed other things. And the sponsor I have today can relate to what I'm going through right now in my life. You know, he knows, he's there, he's been there. And, you know, I just pulled off a mask the other day that's been, it's been a mask I've had for a long time. And, you know, it affects me. It affects my spirit. And I'm working with him on it. I was, I'll just be honest, I was embarrassed to even tell him, because that's my disease, making me feel that way. And I shared it with him, and he said, all right, let's work on it. And, you know, now I'm on a routine. I have an assignment. I'm supposed to call him every day. He didn't answer today, so. But you know, I've started the steps over again. And I'm working the steps in this area of my life. And that's where I get my answers, man. I get all my answers in these steps if I allow myself. You know, I've shedded a lot of other masks. And when I shed them, it's like when I do step work, I'm shedding a bunch of stuff.
Yeah.
And letting some other person know exactly who I am, and I'm okay with that. The relief I feel. I have sponsees, and when we're working like a 4-step or any step, I'll let them know a little bit about me on this particular step. And that's the way I was taught. Because I strongly believe that the more I put into step work, the more I'm going to get out.
Mhm.
The more freedom I'm going to feel is what I put into my step work. And, you know, it's, I've been where you've been, you know, I've been in a meeting looking hip, slick and cool, and I'm a fucking mess. I'm a mess. I've experienced that a lot in recovery. Looking good on the outside, but a fucking trash can on the inside. And you know, when I let my guard down and I get honest with somebody, my spirit rises. And you know, I can't find that anywhere else. Damn, you were good. Just being honest. You know, and that's one thing I could never do before is laugh. You know, laugh at myself. Not take myself so damn serious. There's still areas of my life that I take too serious. But you know, this is not a race.
That's right.
You know, everybody recovers at their speed.
Mhm.
And you know, I've personally felt myself, you know, with this, that, and the other time, I should be right here, there, and there. But in reality, I'm exactly where my higher power wants me. And it's just up to me to accept where I'm at and when I'm there. And I battle with that. I battle. I'm grateful to be clean. You know, one of the masks I have that I still hold on to is with my mom. And I don't know why. Well, you know, I blame my mom for a lot of stuff. And I know in my heart of hearts, she did the best she could, what she had. I know that, but still it hurts. And I don't know if I'll ever, I don't know. You know, I want to say I'll get past it, but I don't know. I don't know. You know, I was abused and beaten for a lot of years. And it was because of who she was married to. And, you know, I feel bad because she's in a boarding house right now because I can't afford to put her anywhere else. And we've tried having her live with us, and it didn't work because I had to protect my family. And, you know, it's sad. You know, I'm here in a lush room, got everything I could ever want. And she's in a boarding house. And that fucks with me. That really does. Because, you know, I want to go rescue her and I can't. I can't. My brother's in jail, my sister's MIA. You know, I'm the only one. And I don't know, maybe one day I'll be able to shed that mask with my mom and let go of that resentment.
Mm.
You know, I was another thing that I've shed is that, you know, I was molested by family.
Mhm.
And it took me a lot of years to even say that. And I worked on that with my sponsor. And I shared it in a meeting when I was ready to share it.
Mhm.
And you know, I don't hesitate now. It's just part of my story.
Mhm.
My papa just came into my head.
Mm.
He was my dad. I think I'm going to stop. I love you guys. Thanks for letting me share.
Thanks for sharing.
Thank you, Lonnie W. Thank you, Cheyenne T. Good shares. So I would like to share a little bit on masks have to go, right? So like I've had to learn when something's not okay. It's not, I'm Bruce, I'm an addict. Yeah, so when I'm not okay, I'm not okay. And I've learned to share this in meetings to my fellow addicts, put it out there on the floor and help me carry some of this stuff. Because for so long I would be that dressed up trash can. I'd dress up and still be crazy on the inside, and it drove me out. You know, it kept driving back to the same place of changing the way I want, changing the way I feel. Right? And so thank y'all again so much. It's a really important topic, I believe. So what I would like to do is open up this meeting to participants here in person and also online. If you would like to share, you can come up here to the microphone and share. If you don't want to be on the video camera, just step off to the side. The share is, I'm opening it up now. Thank y'all.
Thank you.
Hey, family, I'm Otis, and I'm still a best. You know, it got a, how can I decide, I ain't gonna keep sharing and people don't see me, so. You know, and I need to hide in recovery, because you know what? Recovery, I'm Otis and I'm an addict. You know, my recovery gave me the life I never had. You know, on page, in the basic text, on page 102 or 107, it say, Narcotics Anonymous have gave me the life that I never lived, but the life I never had, but it's better than any life I ever lived. Something to that nature. Okay, but you know, and the masks have to go. You know, they will thank you for your service and thank you for your service.
Thank you.
They was talking about, I guess part of this stuff is relationships and you know, like lately, you know, like in my recovery, I've been taught that it's still mostly about the now. And about the now is, you know, like last weekend, it was Easter Sunday, and I didn't go to worship on Easter Sunday, but me and my wife kept our grandkids, right? Well, the grandkids ain't from my biological child. It's from hers because we have children in this marriage, but we don't have our own children, right? And so a lot of days when these kids are at our place, I don't know how to parent. And a lot of times I find myself wanting things to go my way and having fun with them. And they don't like, you know, to me, kids are kind of lazy these days. They might not be lazy. Physically, I think they're lazy. And you know, they ain't using drugs and alcohol, but they like got computer games and all this stuff on TV. And, you know, like they like when they come to my house, they like lay on the beds and they play these video games, or they kick back in the recliners with their shoes off. And the TVs and these games that they bring in is more important. So we bought little stuff on the outside. Like I got a table tennis game in my garage, and we bought this little stuff you can hand play on the net, because this is the stuff me and her know how to play. I'm 62 and we the same age. We were classmates. So a lot of times I might say some stuff that are offensive to where here's what I'm trying to say. When I see a kid trying to manipulate me, I'm the kind of parent who I'm gonna question it, you know, or I'm gonna say something about it. Well, maybe the way I say something about somebody how they act to my wife is like, you don't have to say that. That ain't appropriate. But see, guess what? I'm the only person in the house with a program. And they say when my wife ain't in recovery, so she ain't never used drugs. She told me when we met, she said, sometimes I drink a wine cooler. I said, yeah, but when we met, I said, but if you drink the wine cooler, you can't drink it over at my house. You know, so she made a long story short, she stopped drinking as we started dating. And I'm grateful for that. Y'all told me I'll be a different person if I stop using, so I'm seeing that part. But well, anyway, my character defect might do this to me. As I'm trying to help somebody or trying to interact, right, and the things don't go right, I get frustrated. Okay, as I'm getting frustrated, I'm an only child. I need to say that too. As an only child, I'll start shutting down sometimes, and I'll start maybe acting out. Okay, here's what done happened. You know, I done did this so much with her kids and my own kids that it began to bother me, right? And a lot of days when you know, it's like, you know how we say, as we coming in a fellowship, we know. Well, I done learned in a lot of areas I don't know. And as I'm trying to relearn how to live, how to relearn how to interact, right? A lot of times I don't know what principle to put on them these things until I start getting the pain of my action, right? Okay, now, as these things begin to happen, I have to go back and say, well, you know what? They don't, you know, I know some stuff. I put it like this, you know, everything we do, you don't need to call your sponsor on, because if you don't work some steps, and if you've been here for a while, like I have, a lot of stuff you know you need to do. And when you know you need to do it, I don't need to procrastinating or prolonging it. You just need to go do it. So I'm trying to learn to just go make the apology, just and try to get to the other side and hope they understand. Well, sometimes, you know. Okay, thanks for letting me share.
Thanks for sharing.
That is named Kim.
Hey,
Hi,
Kim.
Kim.
It don't matter.
I'd be close to the hot chick, cause damn, y'all. I don't even swing that way, but man. Anyway, with masks, you know, the ones that I struggle with the most right now is like the sponsor masks, that I'm a great sponsor and I already know all the answers, or the, you know, I'm just like the perfect addict, or I, you know, like it has to do with like in the rooms and like my recovery got to look good because, you know, I don't know why. And, you know, my biggest fear in letting go of those masks is having faith in my higher power that it's gonna be okay when I let go of those masks, like that fear of the unknown, just like when I got clean, like what's gonna happen when I stop using? Like that's terrifying. And you know, and I really struggle with that faith. I know it up here, but sometimes what you know up here and what you feel down here, you know, they don't always agree with each other. And that's where I'm at with that. But I appreciate both of y'all getting really vulnerable. I'm gonna be speaking at a workshop tomorrow and like I'm freaking out about it. And I want to wear a mask and I want to like read the basic text to you like it's a textbook and just teach y'all some shit instead of like be real and like tell you about my shit. Cause that's like hard and then I have to be vulnerable and I might cry or I might like, but thanks for just showing me that it's okay. We can just be real with each other because we all got the same shit.
Yes,
Thanks for
thank
letting
you.
me share.
Thanks for sharing. Yes, thank you. Good stuff. Come on. Good stuff. Yes, there is. They scared to shed them.
I'm a grateful recovering addict called Murph.
Hi,
The man, let me start off like this. I wear a lot of them. I took care of my mother for 10 years, 15 years, took care of my sister, both of them passed away 2 years ago. I'm in this program. Now I'm the baby out of 6. They all call me. I'm the responsible one. And they never asked me, well, do you need anything? Or are you okay? I'm here today to get away from them.
Yeah. Yes,
This is my medicine.
right.
You know, they think just because I stopped using drugs over 25 years ago, I'm the guru of the family. And once in a lot of times I do have resentments because I'm the baby I supposed to be the school one. But it feels good to be the responsible one, because when I was out there youth and they closed their doors, they didn't want me in their house. They see me coming and went the opposite way. But it feels good to be the responsible one, but they don't understand that I too need medication. That's why I left my phone in my room.
Nice.
Yeah.
Because I needed, this is my medicine and I really needed to get away from it. I need to just do me, because I haven't sat down in a meeting in 2 years.
Yeah, right.
In 2 years, and thank you.
Glad you're here.
And you know what, this is more than a vacation because I'm from Philadelphia.
Welcome.
And just to be grateful to pay for a flight just to come sit in a meeting.
Yeah.
It's the most ultimate feeling I had, because when I was using, I didn't pay for anything except drugs.
Yeah.
I bought my 25-year medallion today from my home group because they were closed, you know, during the COVID. But that's something I earned. I didn't have to pay for it, and nobody bought it for me. I earned it on my own. But then again, I have a peace of mind out of this world. You know, at work I wear a lot of masks because it's, they don't understand, you know, I think, well, for me, let me just talk about me. I have to wear a lot of masks because if I show my true self, I'm more vulnerable than a little bit. And I still don't want people to take advantage of me. So just like I tell people, I still have converses up in my head, you know, but I have to continue to make meetings to let those voices subside. You know, I have to put it out there. I call my sponsor, I talk to Brenda's my road buddy right here. But it's just, any given day, I have to wear a mask because I don't want to be that vulnerable. You know, I still have a lot of work to do. Don't have all the answers. You know, I don't have this program, and I'll never have this program. That's why I keep coming back. You know, keep coming back because y'all have given me just to show me how to live and how to live with me and how to love myself today. So thanks for letting me share.
Thank you, Sharon. Stop.
My name is Brenda, and I'm a great.
Hi, Brenda.
And my ears are still popping with the plane. I just went through a whole, on the plane, I was just like, oh my God, and I got here yesterday. He did around 4 o'clock, took us an hour or so to get to him. But determination and getting our medication, because I had to get it, I have to be, I said I was going to share, but maybe I do share. Haven't, like he said, we haven't been in a meeting 2 years. COVID hit, the world shut down, and that was it. I kept pulling on, grinding on, keep coming back, don't pick it up. Now, all the cliches, I'm just practicing all the steps, I was just practicing. And I work on the job, justice job. And, you know, with that happened, when people get shot everywhere in the country, I was just like, oh, okay. It's so demanding. And just what we finished like 3 weeks. I was just like, okay, something's missing on this side. This is an inside job. You stand up. So the mask was I like what she said, sister. I'm the girl that went to the coffee pot.
Yep.
Every half an hour. He looked down. To the coffee pot.
Yeah.
Every half an hour. Because I didn't know how to live without drugs. I brought all the behaviors in here with me from off the street. Got a sponsor. She said, young girl, I'm going home, what you doing? I said, I don't know. They told me, go back. I didn't have high school diploma, go back to school. I got a job. So I was surprised about hiring me because I didn't think I was worth it. And I said, she kept saying, it's an inside job. It's an inside job. I continue on going back to the coffee pot, sleeping with this man, that man, trying to fill that void. Right? So I practiced that for a while until enough pain, I stopped it. I said, oh shit, just stop working out right. Why am I getting hurt? Right? So I just started practicing the principles, saying, you know, like, no, I'm all right, you know, be with me for a while, a year or two. I've been with me now for like over 10 years.
Good stuff.
It's just been me. I don't want to get married. Well, not right now at this moment, I don't want to get married. I had a good time in recovery. My first job was giving out papers in Philadelphia, 15th and Market, because I didn't have education. So I went and got my GED. After I got my GED, I went to behavioral health tech. Went right into that. Then I went to an assesstive writing class. Because this program told me to take care of me. You ain't no good for you. How you gonna be good for somebody else?
That's right.
It's like, the hell you mean? So you start practicing, you grow up, mature on the inside. Because I didn't take off the pants, the tight pants that I couldn't breathe in for like 5 years. The heels. I didn't do that for like 5 years. When I look back now, I laugh. But the mask must go.
Yeah.
So I got this awesome job working in social justice. I work with the courts, the DA in Philadelphia, and all that. And I want to cuss everybody out on every level. And I have. They have put me out courtrooms as I advocate for folks. And I have. And so I'm only recovering addict on my job. And we recognize bullshit when you see it coming. And I be recognizing it, and I call them on it. So, you know, my tolerance level, I said, listen, let's go. We go on vacations all the time. Let's go, because something's missing on the inside, my tolerance level. I'm ready. I want to cuss about everybody on my job. Just like, come on with the BS. You need to do this, let's get it done. And I was like, what's wrong? What's wrong with me? And God, my understanding said, you need to sit still. When the last time you, like in the atmosphere, I made meetings. I go to meetings all the time. but you really need to just sit still and get some information inside of you. And I realized that I'm not drug proof. And it starts off the little dumb stuff that, you know, I don't do. And next thing you know, I might be using. So we decided to come here. We came yesterday and I said, we're gonna sit still all weekend. So my spirit be right and I'll be able to deal with me and my emotions and my character defects. And then I can deal with the job character defects and my daughter that think that I'm supposed to give her everything, every time, all the time. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, oh my God, I be seeing her coming. But I'm you know, I see her coming. I'm looking at her like, did you forget that I used to use drugs and like there's nothing new out here. Did that, you know, she don't see that tough love is I don't answer my phone or I write no and can't. You know what I'm saying? Like, no, you kidding? But I'm just happy and I'm becoming grateful because I always try to look for something to be grateful for. Always. Just to wake up and say I'm grateful. But over the last 2 years, it has been a really trying time. A really trying time. And I haven't sat still. And I said, this is the time to sit still. Because the Zoom meetings ain't nothing like being in the atmosphere. People hug you and love on you. Yeah. And just the spirit of recovery inside. I said, this is what's missing. So you're not alone, sister. Right? Because the mask must go. Right? And I walked that coffee pot many times. Up there, up and down. I'll never forget. Thanks for allowing me to share.
Thanks for sharing.
Got time for one more. For some of that.
Bruce.
All right, thanks to our workshop speakers and all the participants who participated. Thank y'all for letting me participate in my recovery today. Let's see. As our 11th tradition states, our public relations policy is based on attraction rather than promotion. We need to always maintain personal anonymity at the level of press, radio, film. The primary purpose of our public relations effort is to tell the story of Narcotics Anonymous and what our program offers to the still suffering addict. Members of the press are often attracted to our convention and we welcome their interest. However, we do not disclose our last names in the media as identifiable members of Narcotics Anonymous. If members of the press approach you, please direct them to a member of the convention planning panel, board of directors, or the public relations subcommittee. Smoking is only allowed in designated smoking areas. If you have any questions on where to find these areas, please see a member of the convention planning panel. These members can be identified by a blue committee ribbon on their shirts. And so there's raffle tickets and entertainment and banquet going on. See committee member. Cool. Yeah. So that's that. So let's all circle up and close with the we version of the Serenity Prayer. Those joining us online are invited to unmute and join our prayer as well.
I missed this. This is bad.
We make lines.
Thank you.
We make shapes though.
This is an elongated.
We're bad at circles. I got big shoes.
Thank you, God.
All right, we all touch. All right, so Bruce, I'm an addict. This circle represent what we can do together, not alone. Let's finish out with the we versus the Serenity Prayer. Prayer.
God, grant us the serenity to accept the things we cannot change, the courage to change the things we can, and the wisdom to know the difference.
You did great. I gotta hug the other one. She did better.
Yeah, I'm actually going through a very similar situation you care about, man. I struggle with this. I'm a
Yeah.
autistic temper with the kids, and I've been trying to process that and trying to get to places to get this figured. I said the same thing to myself.